Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom, and today I'm taking a look at one of Connecticut's largest and most successful malls, Danbury Fair Mall in Danbury, Connecticut. The last time I was here was back in December of 2022, about a week and a half before Christmas. At that time it was fairly busy, but not overly so. This time, however, is another story. Out of the over 100 malls I've been to in the last few years, this mall is easily one of the top 5 busiest that I've been to, and the holiday shopping season has barely even started. This was filmed on Saturday, November 2nd, 2024 at about 3 p.m. So the number of shoppers may be partially due to this being a Saturday, but if you're familiar with this mall, let me know if this seems busy to you. So now a little history on the mall. It was built on the site of the old Danbury Fair, also known as the Great Danbury State Fair, which was here from 1821 until 1981. Based on what I've read about it, it seems like it was similar to the Big E, also known as the Eastern States Exposition in Massachusetts. The mall opened in 1986. It was developed and originally owned by Wilmerite Properties, but was sold to the Macerich Company in 2005, and they still own it to this day. And fun fact, the Freehold Raceway Mall in Freehold Township, New Jersey, and Danbury Fair Mall are apparently considered to be twin malls, as they were both built by Wilmerite around the same time, are both currently owned by Macerich, and apparently have a very similar interior design. As of the time I'm posting this video, I haven't been to Freehold Raceway Mall yet, so it'll be interesting to compare the two malls when I do finally get out to see it. And if you're familiar with Freehold Raceway Mall, let me know if you'd consider this mall to be its twin. The original anchor stores here when the mall opened in 1986 were Sears and G. Fox, but this Macy's up ahead was added not long after in 1987, and then JC Penney opened in 1988. Lord & Taylor was added in 1991. Today the only remaining early anchor stores are JC Penney and this Macy's. Currently this mall is doing very well. According to one online source, the mall is about 98% occupied, which is obviously extremely high, and it also has a double-digit annual growth rate in revenue, which is highly unusual in my experience for an enclosed mall. Most malls I've been to are generally making less money each year, not more.
What?
The curved window.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to say exactly why this mall is doing so well, but my guesses would be its location and a huge selection of stores and entertainment. If you're not familiar with Danbury, Connecticut, it's the third largest city in western Connecticut, and the next closest major population area in Connecticut is probably Trumbull, I think, and that's over 45 minutes away. The next closest enclosed mall in Connecticut is also in Trumbull, I believe. And again, that's over 45 minutes away. So if you live in Danbury and you want to go to a mall, Danbury Fair Mall is really your only option. It's a pretty good option though, as you'll see. Now, as I think most of you will probably agree, the mall is pretty busy right here. I can't remember the last time I was in a mall where I actually couldn't get around people. Like, there were people walking in front of me, as you see, that were going pretty slow, and it was hard to get around them because there were other people to the left or the right of them. And I just don't run into that at malls too much anymore. It actually kind of felt claustrophobic at some points because I'm just so used to mall hallways being wide open. I think this wing of the mall is the only one that I would say is somewhat dead, and that's just because at the end of the hallway here, this is where Lord & Taylor used to be. It was here from 1991 up until 2020, and since then, obviously, they haven't replaced it. So basically, there's very few stores down here for people to go to, which is why it's so empty. But this is an anomaly in this mall. The rest of the mall is extremely busy.
I think that used to be Lord & Taylor.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if they currently have any plans to put something new in where the Lord & Taylor used to be. I did do a quick search online, but I couldn't find anything about it. On the right here is Kids Club. It's 2 floors, but the top floor here seems to be empty for some reason. The bottom floor is not. The bottom floor is occupied by like a kids arcade and play area. Basically, it's like kind of like Chuck E. Cheese, I guess. But yeah, for some reason, this top level is pretty much vacant. And if anybody knows what store used to be in there, let me know in the comments. It's a pretty interesting mural they have there. I have no idea what it represents, but it looks kind of cool. This mall had its last major renovation between about 2007 and 2008, and during that renovation they repainted the ceiling from its original green to the current tan color. And here's a picture where you can see actually part of the roof is still green and part of it is the new tan color. They also added, I believe, these new lighting fixtures here that look like, to me, they look like giant lampshades. And they also redesigned the food court, which we'll see in a few minutes. Now, as always, if you've been here before, or especially if this is your hometown mall, let me know what you think about it in the comments. I think it's a pretty nice mall. If I lived closer, I would probably come out here more often, but I currently live roughly like an hour and 15 minutes away, so this really isn't a mall that I get out to too often. The only reason we were at it today, and my mom is actually with me, is because we went to the Stormville Flea Market in Stormville, New York, and this is actually on the way back. Straight ahead where the Christmas tree is located today, in front of the elevator, there used to be a huge water fountain until it was sadly removed during the 2007 renovation of the mall. The fountain was replaced by a much smaller fountain, which I believe is still there to this day, but is currently hidden underneath the Christmas tree. I'm going to try to make it a point to come back here someday, though, and get a look at that fountain, because every time I've been here, it's always been covered by the Christmas tree. And here's the food court. Like I mentioned, this was renovated during the 2007-2008 renovation of the mall. And from what I've read, they decreased the number of restaurants from 16 to 11. They added some of this new seating here. And I don't really understand what this means. They said they changed it into a panoramic food court. I know what a panorama is, but I'm not really sure what it means in relation to a food court.
Never seen a Chick-fil-A in a mall before.
Another good sign for this mall is that, as far as I can see, all the restaurants in this food court are open, which is very unusual. Often when I go to a mall, at least a couple of the restaurants are closed. Very rarely are all of them open. As you can see straight ahead, the mall has a double-decker carousel. The last time I was here, it was playing music. It was not playing any music this time, so I'm not sure why that is. But that's actually been there since opening day. And I'm not sure if it was brand new on opening day or if it's an antique carousel that they moved here. I wasn't able to find any details like that online, but it is pretty nice.
This looks like the one they have at the Big E. They have a double-decker one.
And coming up, take a look to the left. There were a bunch of police officers and mall security gathered here. I don't know what was going on, though. I took a quick look, but I couldn't really tell what was happening. And I didn't want to stay too long there because, you know, me with a camera and police officers and mall security, they generally don't mix too well.
Not sure what was going on there. See the cops?
Straight ahead is the JC Penney, which has been here since 1988. This is only the side entrance, though. There's a bigger main entrance around the corner, which we'll see in a little bit. You'll notice throughout the mall they have these tables set up with the lamps, and I think there's power outlets and probably USB outlets on these. And you have people working on their laptops. I don't know about you, but I think I would have a major problem trying to do any work in a mall this busy and loud. I just wouldn't be able to concentrate. Coming up on the right is the Newbury Comics, which I actually like. I don't have too many around me, so I don't go to them too often, but they're nice because they still sell physical media. They still have like physical movies, physical music, as well as games and pretty much every other pop culture type thing you can think of. A lot like the FYE that we saw earlier. So this mall has at least 2 stores that are pretty much dedicated to pop culture, which is what I'm really into.
Parou.
And here's the main entrance to JC Penney.
It's very busy.
It's very busy.
Yeah.
Up ahead where the Primark is today, that's where the original anchor store Sears was located up until 2015. Sears was originally on the second floor and the first floor, but in 2015 Sears moved down to just the first floor, and then the Primark moved in 2015 as well. The Sears finally closed entirely in 2020.
It's a big mall. It's an unusual looking Barnes & Noble sign.
They've got a pretty cool looking retro video game store here on the right called Level 1. Again, if I lived closer to this mall, that's probably one of the stores I would go to a lot. I love this Danbury Fair sign or mural, whatever you want to call it. It almost looks like something out of the 70s, like something got left behind and they found it under some wallpaper or something. Pretty cool.
Don't remember seeing that before.
Up ahead where the Dick's Sporting Goods is today, that's where the original anchor store G. Fox was located from opening day until 1993. It became Filene's in 1993, but Filene's then closed in 2006 when it was bought out by the owner of Macy's. As the mall already had a Macy's, they decided to close the Filene's. And I'm not sure, but I think the space was left vacant until about 2010 when it was rebuilt and replaced with that Dick's, Forever 21, LL Bean, Cheesecake Factory, and Brio Tuscan Grill. The last three, I think, are only accessible from outside the mall.
Here's the upper level of that round one. Oh, it's just a stairway down.
The Round 1 arcade, which is actually on the first floor, just opened earlier this year in 2024, so it was not here when I was here last time in December of 2022. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I actually did do a walk around of the Round 1. All right, now let's head on down to the first floor.
Doesn't sound good.
No. Heard worse.
Yeah.
There's a Hallmark Gold Crown store there on the right. Don't see those too much anymore. It must be the start of the holiday season because the pop-up calendar stores have arrived.
Got the calendars, yeah. Yep.
This is the old first floor of Lord & Taylor's.
interesting.
Yeah.
Golf lounge. Never heard of that.
Here's the Danbury Family Diner. I have no idea how good the food is, but I love the theming.
Yeah. Go ahead, take the elevator up. We'll just go up and down.
They all get in there.
I don't know.
Strange.
Yeah. I need to
Screeching.
reset.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hillary, stop using my mic. It ain't in though. Stop using my mic either. He's leaving. Alright, bro, don't jump, please. No. He's throwing gang signs.
Y'all gotta stop him to jump because she's gonna break the whole elevator.
Stop. Shut up. Bro, just stop the phone.
Stop freaking the elevator!
Stop shaking the elevator. Stop shaking the elevator.
It won't open!
Break the door open.
Odie!
I'm not here. What? Then stop the whole shake.
That was crazy.
I love that this mall is doing so well and there's so many shoppers, but I have to say I think I prefer the peace and tranquility of a dead mall over this any day.
Staircase open.
This is probably one of the busiest play areas I've ever seen at a mall, at least in recent years.
Take a quick walk through here.
This is an unusual sight, a WoW arcade that is not empty. This is like pretty much every other WoW arcade I've been to. It's got some decent games mixed in here with claw machines, but I would think since the round 1 opened, this place must be hurting even more than normal, because the round 1 is just so much superior to this. I don't know why anybody would go in there rather than round 1.
Usually never see anybody in there.
Probably helps with that play area like that.
Yeah. Look, we have a little train. Let's stop and get a view of the train going by. He's whipping right along.
Yeah. Are we in his way?
No.
Oh, I didn't know if he was going to go on this side.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't hit anybody. I don't think he was just going to run into us.
This Target was not here the last time I was at the mall. It just opened earlier in 2024. And I read online that it's a 2-level Target, but Primark is on the 2nd level, so I don't understand how it can possibly be a 2-level Target unless there's a basement there. But yeah, it sure looks like a 1-level Target to me.
It said 5 below. It's supposed to be everything below $5, but it says $1 to $5 and beyond. Yeah, and beyond. So it's meaningless. Yeah. It's the same one. There's an escalator.
So here's the round one, which opened just earlier this year in 2024. And like I said, this was originally G Fox and then Filene's. And then it was, I think this was the first floor of Forever 21 up until 2019. Here's what it looked like the last time I was here in December of 22.
Let's do a quick walkthrough. No.
I promise someday I will do a video on round one. I'll play a bunch of the games and do a full walkthrough, but not today. We just didn't have time for it. But this place is pretty amazing. It's a lot like the round one at the main mall that I did a walkthrough of, and pretty much every other round one I've been to. It's pretty impressive. They got a lot of legit video games, not any classic video games that I've seen. They're mostly newer ones. And they have a lot of claw machines, but overall, I would say this is probably one of the better modern arcades I've ever been to.
And watch sports on the TV? Yeah, a little bit. Play a dance game? probably want to spend the whole day in there.
My mom hates arcades, so I know she was happy to get out of there as soon as possible. But we just had to do the walkthrough.
Black and white.
Yeah. I'll wait until after the new year when they're like 75% off.
Alright, well that pretty much wraps up the interior of the mall, but as always, don't go anywhere yet. Next I'm going to do a drive around to the mall and we can see what it looks like from the outside. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, these entrances here, because this used to be the Danbury Fair, they're supposed to look like circus tents, believe it or not. Here's the Macy's building, which has been there since 1987, a year after the mall opened. And as you can probably see, there's a like a green glass entrance, or foyer, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's really nice looking. I would say that's probably the best looking building at the mall, in my opinion. If you look in the distance on the right, that white building still says Lord & Taylor on it. They've been closed since 2020. It's now 2024, almost 2025. And the sign is still up. I've been to a lot of former Lord & Taylors, and at most of them, they still have the sign on the building, which is kind of unusual, I think. I think this parking garage was also added in 1991, the same year that they built the Lord & Taylor. And there's the Target, which was built just earlier this year in 2024. And as I mentioned earlier, where the Primark and Target are today, that was originally Sears. And then where the Dick's is today, and then the Cheesecake Factory is to the right. You can just see it on the right corner there. That's where originally G. Fox was located. Then it became Filene's. And then all these current stores and restaurants that you see today were added around 2010 to 2011 or so. And And there you have it. That is the Danbury Fair Mall in Danbury, Connecticut. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up, as well as store walkthroughs and, of course, flea markets. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.